Welcome to Hanger 51. So today I'm going to do a, if you're new to the channel, my channel's normally radio control airplanes, which you can see right here. I'm reviewing an airplane. But I venture into other things too. 3D printing is what we're going to talk about today. And I'm also going to be doing a lot of automotive racing stuff coming up. That's going to get added to the channel. But today we're just going to do 3D print. So if you like, subscribe, guys. I'm going to do a big show next week about the do's and don'ts and the real truth about 3D printing. I'm going to get into it a little bit real quick here, but I'm going to get into it extensively next week. So make sure you subscribe if you really want to know the ins and outs of 3D printing and which printer to start with, if you're on a budget especially. I'm going to talk about all that next week. So here we go. I want to tell you that everything you see on the table here is a fail. I bought my Ender 3. It's a Creality Ender 3. I bought that when they first came out about 7 years ago, and I have had zero success with it until just recently. I've never had a print that wasn't a fail. Now you're saying, well, these look like they're good prints. Okay, so what I consider a print that's not a fail is something I could sell. Is anything on the table here sellable? No, not in my opinion. No, every one of these has a defect of some kind. Everything on the table has a defect, and so I recently had one print. I'll get that in a minute. That was not a fail. I have finally, in 7 years, I finally have one print that I could literally sell. So what's the problem? Well, the biggest problem I had with the Ender 3 was the bed that it came with is this piece of like computer board with a vinyl type cover glued to it of some kind of vinyl texture that had the Ender 3 logo on it, and I could never get anything to stick to that. Nothing. And I finally had to start gluing things to it using contact cement and literally gluing it to it. So what I would do, if you heat the glue up to 80 degrees, 85 degrees, it gets soft after it's dried on the bed. And it'll dry. You don't have to wait. You can just spray it on, and as soon as you start heating the bed, the glue dries. But then it gets tacky again while it's heated. So you lay down your first layer in the glue, and then you shut the bed off, and then it literally glues it to the bed. The contact cement dries hard, and it's glued to the bed. And the bottom of these is a perfect proof of that, because the bottom of these are terrible looking, because the glue is inconsistent, and it leaves all these bumps and pits and marks, and so it's terrible looking. I don't know if you can see that on camera. But the bottom of this is horrible, and they're all that way. Every one of these, well, this one's not too bad, but you can still see the pits. And if I get it, if I get it in the light right, you can see the defects in the bottom of this. Now that's not what I would consider a fail. If the bottom looked like that, I'd still sell that if that was the only issue. But this is what happens because I had to glue it to the bed. But this particular one is a pretty good one, but it still has some waving in it from heat, either too hot or not hot enough. This one's not too bad, but it also, I don't have good, the layers aren't glued together very good, okay? Just like this one, where the layers literally came apart, okay? And that's kind of what's happening on this one, although this one is very close to being sellable. This would one of the very few that I have that would be considered maybe sellable. This one, no bottom. Bottom fell out of it. And the reason for that is I can't get ABS to stick to the bed. It curls up, especially when you're doing a bottom. These bottoms are like 21 layers thick. I don't know why, and I've learned now to cut those layers down. But yeah, once you start printing a ABS, even glued to the bed, it shrinks. ABS is very hard to deal with temperature-wise. If it gets cooled, like a breeze goes through your house, it's an open bed, printer. The edges curl up, which ruins the whole print. So I was printing these with a PLA bottom. And by the way, everything on the table you see in white is all glow in the dark. All of this material is glow in the dark. Some of it's PLA. This is PLA, and this is PLA. This is ABS. This is ABS. Okay, and this one's PLA, and this one's ABS, but it has a PLA bottom. Okay, and most of the time they stick. This one's stuck, but again, it still has issues. So is this sellable? This one, and I have 3. This one, maybe, and this one, and this 4. Okay, so these 4 are the only thing I have that are close. Now this one's got holes in it here at the top, so it didn't come out perfect. So that's why I would say, that's a fail. I wouldn't sell that one. But this one's got the little sliver cuts in it, so it won't hold water. But visually, it's beautiful. So, and the bottom's on. The bottom's crappy, but it's there. And so this one is kind of sellable. These 2 are, just like I said, they all have defects, and then the rest of them are just obvious, the defects. This one's falling apart. It's got these heat layers in it here that make it wavy, and the bottom fell out of it, and so that one didn't work at all. And here's some more fails. This one's, I stopped the print because it was full of holes, and those you can probably see on camera, and the holes in that one on the inside line here. Okay, it's just full of holes. So I stopped the print on that one. And this one, same thing. It fell apart, and so I stopped the print on that one. And then, so what I did finally, just recently, in the last couple weeks, I finally broke down and I bought a new extruder nozzle, a hardened steel nozzle, not the brass one. I bought a hardened steel nozzle. I've actually bought 2 sets of them. And I bought a new print bed. I got rid of that piece of crap that came with the Ender 3 bed. And I bought one of these new, we're 7 years into the future, guys. Technology's come a long way. So that new PEI textured plate works fantastic. So I bought that and another one, a PEO, I think it was, or something, I don't know. So I bought those 2 plates together in a kit. Came with the magnetic surface instead of those stupid clips that you clip. They came with the Ender 3, and you have to clip the bed on. And the clips are in the way of the print sometimes, and they pop off. And the bed doesn't stay flat. It gets hot, and it gets a bow in it. And it's just that bed that came with it was a pain in the ass. And it took me this long to finally just give up on it and replace it. So I got a new bed, and with all that, I still had these 2 fails. Okay, and this is the Prusa rocket motor. Okay, the rocket engine, and that failed. So then I tried a different technique. This printed for 15 hours, and that's all the farther I got on the Ender 3 because it's very slow. But it was perfect. It was printing perfect. I mean, the quality is just beautiful. The new nozzle is working so good, and this was glued to the bed so good that it was perfect. And then all of a sudden it failed. I don't know why it failed. I have no idea. But this is what happens when you 3D print, guys. For 15 hours it was locked to the bed perfectly and was printing perfectly. And then it failed, and I came back to the spaghetti. It wasn't this one. It was this one. I caught it right after it came off. This was this one. That one I didn't catch. I thought it was going good, so I walked away for a few hours and came back to that. And then this one I went and checked like an hour later and came back to that. So more fails. Then I don't know what caused this. This is one of those articulating dragons, and it was printing perfectly. And then I was standing there waiting. I kept walking away. This was almost a 4-day print. This one here, 4 days on an Ender 3 to print this. And I just happened to walk in, at the time that it was, we were 3 days into it, I think, 2 days into it, and I was standing there watching it, and all of a sudden I hear this, and the belt skipped. I'm like, what the hell was that? What caused that? I'm looking for a head crash, something, got in the way of the head, stopped it. What happened? I couldn't find anything. I have no idea why that happened. But it kept printing, and I thought, well, maybe it's going to be okay. So I let it finish printing, and then I looked at it. No, it's not okay. It's completely ruined. The head, right here is cheekbone right here. Okay, the whole head is shifted to my left, your right, about 1/8 of an inch, which exposes the open, it's an open cavity inside with some infill, but it's not a solid piece. And you can see right down into it because the head's moved over, and so now you can see the hollow, inside the head, and then the pin that holds each piece to each other. Those are supposed to be lined up. I don't know if you can see that, but there's one here, and then this one's way over here. It's off 1/8 of an inch, and so that made the pin break. So that's why it's in 5 pieces, because that shift broke the pin, and so another fail. 4 days, another fail. Then I printed these. Well, actually, I printed these first before I, and this was another fail, but this one's pretty close. All right, so it's a fail because several of the vertebrae don't articulate. But I got them all but 2. So the one right behind this set of legs won't move; it's locked, but the rest of them work. The one on the tail doesn't articulate. This is supposed to move on that vertebrae, and it doesn't. And it crashed on I lost the tail completely. And I had to pause the print, find the piece that came off, glue it back on the bed as a support, and then let it print over it. And it did, so I got a tail now, but that support didn't stay with the print. So there's a hole in the tail, and then the head won't articulate because that's a design error. It's too far away from the vertebrae, so it's actually the head is. The pin is actually hooked to the loop. They're printing together because they're too tight. So that's a design error. All right? But again, another fail. So then I printed this one. And it's the exact same one, but I made it bigger. This is as big as you can get it on the under plate. I mean, I went to the maximum size I could make it. And this one took, I think this one was 3 days to print this one. And it failed right at the beginning twice. I had, stuck to the bed and looked like it was going good, and I had a filament break. So I had to stop the print, refill, get the broken filament out, refill it, reset it, start it again. It started running again. It broke again. So I stopped it again, and I looked everything over. I couldn't find anything really wrong, so I removed that bad filament again, restarted the filament, and I just stopped the print and started a new print. Now on the Ender 3, when you do a pause, it remembers the XY, but it doesn't remember the Z. So if you move the Z, you're screwed. All right? If you accidentally have to do a filament change or something, like when I did this. Now this, believe it or not, that's a 5-color change on an Ender 3, and it had 0 waste, no poop. The 3D lab, you got all that poop. No poop. I made it do 5 changes, and I was going to do 3 more. No poop. Okay? So it can be done. And now we're going to tell you next week. I'm going to tell you next week how to do that. But I got I reset the filament, got it back in there, and started a new print, but I started it and then paused it. So it immediately did its little thing, and then it's paused. And then I rolled the XY head over to the part of this that was already glued to the bed, and I touched it down onto that to get the height. and I took the Z rod and I just gave it one click up, and then I said go, and then I restarted, and it just continued printing right on top of the existing print that started. And there's a tiny line that's only about, I don't know, maybe five layers. It's, you know, three to five layers at the bottom. There's a line there where the new print started over top of the old print, and it's hardly noticeable. But again, for me, that's a fail. Now this is one of this and this are those borderline. Maybe I could sell it. The articulation that doesn't work is the head, because it's a design error. But the tail does. Even the tail articulates. So it's fully articulating, and it came out really nice and looks good. But there is that line where I started to print over. So again, a borderline fail. So, okay. So I said I had one good bill, or one good print. So this is what the new head, the new hardened steel head, and the new PEI build plate, and this is this vase in its normal. I put this in a CAD program and blew it out because I wanted to maximize the print bed of my Ender 3. This is bigger than the original, but it kept its orientation. I didn't change the shape of it like I did there. So this is normally only about this tall. I blew it up until it was the maximum height. Everything here is the maximum height. So if you put all these together, they're all the exact same height. That's the maximum height I could print on the Ender 3. And this is a perfect print. Perfect bottom. No layer lines really. It looks perfect on the bottom. Let me get it in that light there. The sides, the texture, everything about this. I did the fuzzy print on this, and there's no layer lines in it. This is the perfect print. I could sell this one. So that's the first thing in 7 years that came off my Ender that's perfect. That I would be proud to sell this. There is one tiny little piece of garbage in this one little spot. There's a tiny little piece of dirt or something that got into the filament. That had to be in the filament from the factory, and it came through my nozzle. And it's one little dot, and I'd still sell this. That's my one sellable in 7 years. That's it. That's the only non-fail. Now I had a lot more of these that I gave away, because these that are not sellable are great gifts. I mean, I can give this to anybody and they will love it. And since they didn't pay for it, they're not going to complain that it won't hold water or whatever. When it's free, you don't complain. They're going to love it. So this is all, they're gifts. I can give away most of this, but this one I could sell. This is the first thing I've printed that I actually could sell. I thought this was going to be good enough. The way this was going for 15 hours, I thought I had a winner here. I thought the Prusa rocket motor, even where it says right on here, Prusa 3D is embossed in all three, and it came out perfect. The lettering is perfect. I don't know. I'll hold it up there. Maybe you can see it. I don't know. It's kind of dark there. I don't have a lot of light on it. But it just came out perfect. It was printing perfect. And then it failed. I don't know why. I have no idea. So this is what you have to look forward to. We're going to get into this very greatly next week when I do my video explaining all of this. But today we're going to unbox the K1C. Now this is the reason I went with the K1C is because it's an enclosed printer and it's a print head, not a bed slinger. And I want those two things I wanted to try different. I already have a bed slinger, open air, and I wanted something different. I almost bought the MK4S, the Prusa MK4S. I was going to buy that, but it's very pricey, and it's the same technology I already have. I mean, it's better, but it's still a bed slinger, and it's not in a cabinet. And I'm thinking, a lot of these problems I'm having are definitely heat issues, where you're having shrinkage, these waves that are in this. this is from cooling and heating, where the temperature didn't stay consistent, and that's what causes this. So I wanted a cabinet one. Now I ordered without doing any research. I hadn't done any research in years. I just and I was on YouTube, and all this hype come up about the new 3D Lab, Bambu Lab 3D printer. The world's greatest, blah blah blah, fast, perfect, blah blah. And I didn't even research it. I bought it. I bought a P1S, and I bought it on the 1st of December, and on the 5th of December they delivered it to the wrong house, FedEx. So if you don't know that, I don't know how it is where you are, but in Florida, FedEx drivers are independent contractors. They don't work for FedEx. So they don't have anything vested in the company. It's a job. They're working for a paycheck. UPS drivers, on the other hand, are union workers that have stock options and everything. So they do have something to care about. It's a career, and they give a shit about their job. So they're not. I had no problem getting that printer in 4 days, and it came UPS, no problem. The FedEx one got delivered to the wrong address. The picture they sent me of it being delivered at 7:30. He delivered it at 5:45, and to the wrong house. But he didn't upload it till 7:30. That's a little suspicious. And then I'm going to get a box while I'm talking to clean these up. Get them off of here. So at 7:31, I was on the phone with FedEx telling them, hey, your driver just delivered my printer to the wrong address. That the picture you sent me is not my house. So I don't know where he delivered it. Where is he? Can you? And they said, we don't know where he is. We don't track him. I said, well, wait a minute. He was supposed to deliver this thing between 2:30 or noon, 12:30 to 2:30. And he was in my neighborhood, and I went to the truck, and because I was following him, I knew exactly where he was. It was tracking it. So I knew exactly where the truck was. So I went to the truck and talked to the guy, and I said, "Hey, you got a package for me?" And I said, a 3D printer. He gave me my address. He knew what it was. He says, "Oh yeah, 18105. Yeah, that's me." He says, "Yeah, my partner has it." I said, well, why am I tracking your truck if your partner has it? Well, that's just the way they do it. I said, well, who does it? FedEx. Okay, so where's my printer? He says, well, it's on his truck. Well, where's he at? He said, I don't know. Can you call him? No, unless I can't. I don't have time for that. I can't. Oh, okay, all right. So I went back home, waited all day, and never got it, and FedEx, I called them at like 7:31 and told them, hey, you didn't deliver it to my house. So of course that opened a claim, gave me a claim number. I sent an email to Bambu Labs and told them what happened. I said, listen, they didn't deliver it to me. They delivered it to the wrong address. They're investigating. Here's the number. Call them. They sent me a message back. Make sure you save all communication, uploads, photos, whatever. I said, no problem. I'll take care of it, And then that was on Thursday, the 5th. I ordered on the 1st, Thursday the 5th. Okay, and I already contacted both Bambu Labs and FedEx. Got a claim number, everything, and then Monday, I called FedEx, and they said, yeah, we did our investigation. We made a mistake. Just call your shipper and tell them, and they contact us, and we'll take care of it. I said, fine. So I sent them an email, said, here's the claim number again, and FedEx has admitted that it was their fault, and they're going to pay the claim. So just go ahead and contact them to get reimbursed for your printer. And send me another one. And as of the 21st, I hadn't heard from Bambu. I mean, I've gotten lip service, but they didn't send me a printer. And they told me it's going to be 1 to 2 months before they can resolve this. In other words, before they get their money from FedEx. So they're going to hold my printer. I paid them. They've got my money. They lost the printer. I didn't pick FedEx. They picked FedEx. They lost the printer. And they're going to make me wait 2 months. So I just said, look, you know what? Just keep your printer. I don't want it. And that's when I ordered the Creality K1C. And that's what we're going to open right now. So I got this cleaned off. The printer's right here. We're going to open it up. Because after that happened, I did some research. And I decided, I started looking at them. And to me, honestly, I still think if you're going to start a print farm, I still think the Prusa K1 or the MK5, the MK4S is the one to go with. Now, I didn't do that much research, so possibly, I think where's my knife at? I forget where I put my knife. I still like the K1 for a print farm. I still like the MK4S. It's fast. Here it is. Accurate. Just an awesome printer. If I was going to start a print farm, I definitely wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket. Listen, I don't know if you've done any financial investing, but your investor, I'm sure, told you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify. So if I was starting a print farm, I'd do the same thing. So I would probably buy maybe 6 MK4Ss and maybe 6. What is it? The X1C, the Bambu Labs X1C. I'd probably buy 6 of each, and then that way, if I have a failure, I can expect that I'm not going to have the same failure on all 12 of my prints. Just maybe 6, But so I would definitely go with either 2 or 3 brands, not put all of them the same. Just for that reason. Now, I've had terrible customer service from Bambu. And listen, all right, so all businesses have departments. All businesses. I don't care what it is. All right? So if you bought a printer from Bambu Labs, you only dealt with sales. That's who you deal with, the buy one. So you dealt with sales, and then they sent it down to shipping to be delivered, and then they delivered it to you. So now you've only dealt with sales and shipping. You haven't dealt with customer service unless you have a problem. Okay? You have to have a problem before you talk to customer service. You didn't get your printer, you got your printer, it doesn't work, there's something wrong with it, whatever. Now you're talking to customer service. So the fact that you ordered one and got one does not mean that Bambu Labs has good customer service. You haven't dealt with customer service. All you've dealt with is sales and shipping. Okay? So I can tell you, and I'm not the only one, listen, I've been watching all these other shows, all these guys talk about their Bambu Lab and these print farms, and 2 different channels have 2 of their X1Cs are down for months because they can't get parts. So the Bambu Lab is not a open source. You have to buy everything from them, and they don't have the parts. They can't support the product. So these guys have got paperweights, $1,500 paperweights, because they can't print with them. So that's customer service. Again, that's customer service. All right, they can't support their product, and they won't send me a printer because they I don't know. I guess they and this isn't the first time I've had this problem with China. Other companies from China have that same mentality that they don't think they should be out. It wasn't their fault. Well, technically it was. You're the one who picked FedEx. I didn't. So yeah, it kind of is your fault. It's certainly not my fault. I paid you. My obligation's done. I paid you. I didn't get a printer. So my obligation to the whole thing is done. Now your obligation is to get me a printer, and you don't want to. So anyway, so that's how I ended up with my my K1C. All right, so I'm going to put this on the floor so I can pull this out of the box. I got to move my chair a little bit here. Let me move this over here. You know what? I'm going to see if I can just get the printer out of the bag at the same time. Okay, there we go. All right. So now I've watched a ton of unboxings of these, so I know some of the things that the other people obviously didn't read their directions, and they're wondering, you know, they got this piece of tape and they don't know what to do with it. I know all of this. I've watched enough of the unboxing videos, so I know what to expect. All right. So there's the belt on the top of this. It has this chain. I don't know if you can see that right here. Hang on a minute. Let me put it over here. Let me get it out of my fake TV. Okay. So this chain here rubs against this piece of plexiglass and puts a mark on it. Somebody complained that it scratched their cover. Okay, did you want a pretty cover or did you buy a printer to print something? You know, sometimes people are just unreasonable. All right, so I thought that was a little unreasonable, but they listened. So there's a piece of tape in here, a piece of foam, I guess, that you have to put on you actually tape it to this in the corner so that so this chain won't scratch your lid. Yeah. So there you go. All right. So I already know that little trick, so I'm aware of that. Okay, and then and let's see what else. So this is a charcoal filter. So the exhaust fan of the cabinet, it has this charcoal filter to try to probably help with the smell and the toxic, if you want to call it that, gases that are coming off of your prints if you're using like ABS or some of the other filaments put out some kind of toxic fumes, and you're supposed to be in a well-ventilated area. So they include this little filter now. So I already put that on, so that, you know, they help with that. Okay, and then there's nothing in that. Another piece of foam. Okay, so let me get the tapes off of here. I'm sure that piece of tape I'm talking about in this box here. So let's see what we got in here real quick. So this is the screen, I think. Yeah, here's your screen. It goes on the front. Okay, it's got it in one of those static bags. Probably didn't need to be in that, but whatever. Here's the spool. You know, so this is going to mount on the back, which most people don't like, and I don't think I do either. But you can print in the file. There's a print to print a mount to put on the side over here, and there's bolt holes in the side over here to do just that. So you can print your own spool holder and then put this into it, and the filament will be on the side of the printer instead of on the back. I think it's on this side over here, not this side. Okay, so that's another thing that people were complaining about, and I got a quarter roll of filament, you know, which is not bad. You know, I wasn't expecting that, so that's cool. You know, it's not a full roll, but it's a quarter roll, so that'll print that'll at least print my side mount, so I'll probably go ahead and print that. But we're going to do the test print first with this, and then we'll do the side mount print. Okay, and then let's see. Do they give you a? I think they do. Is this a? No, that's not that. So this is the handles for the door, and this looks like, I guess, the back of the door, and these are the screws. So that's we're going to do that later. I'm going to get it running first. I can, while it's doing its calibration, I can be screwing the handle on the door. So we'll do that last. Get rid of that. I've got an instruction manual here and some stickers. Again, I was well aware of this. Like I said, I've watched a bunch of these, and you probably have too. I am going to do the high-speed print, and I'm going to let it print the whole thing. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm sure we'll find out in a minute here. But so, after sales service card, okay, customer service, all right. Yeah, and then a bunch of cute stickers. Okay, we don't need those right now. Here's the book, and I will read the book. I might do a little bit of reading of it right now, depending on if I think I need to read anything particular about installing this thing or getting it running. Okay, so we got a toolkit here, and I don't know if you saw this. I'll let you know that there's a toolbox that you can print from Creality that to hold all this. Okay, so you've got this is for cleaning the nozzle, all right, and then you've got a pair of nippers. These are nice nippers. Holy crap! These are really nice, good quality. Those are heavy-duty steel nippers with rubber handles. So nice nippers. Those come in the kit. Got a scraper, which I hope I don't need. It did come with an SD card or a drive, a thumb drive. That's cool. Very nice. It did come with a thumb drive. I don't know how big it is, but we'll find out. It came with that. That's cool. All right. In here we've got a screwdriver and a wrench to. That was weird. A wrench to. You know, I didn't turn all my lights on. Hang on a second. Let me give you the full effect here. I forgot to turn my lights on. Okay. So it's a little dark in here. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot to turn the lights on. So let me brighten it up in here. There we go. All right, so now all the lights are on. All right, so that brightens things up in the background. So here we've got this wrench that takes the nozzle out, and a screwdriver, and it looks to be 3 different Allen wrenches, and there's a screw, and these are the clips for the Bowden tube to hold it. There's 2 of those in this bag to hold the Bowden tube. Okay, and then this looks like a tube of glue, maybe. Yep, glue stick. So it came with a glue stick. Here's that piece of tape I was telling you about that you have to put on the inside of the cover so that it won't your chain won't scratch the cover. So there's that. That's what that's for. Okay. And then what is this? This is grease. So I guess part of your maintenance is to grease something, and they give you the grease to do it. So that's nice. And that's it. That's everything in the kit. All right. So that's what you get in your kit. All right. So we're going to leave all this up here for now. I'm not going to worry about that. I'll deal with the silly stuff like putting the handle on and tape on the lid and all that later. We're gonna get this thing running. You don't need to see me playing with that stuff. I'll try to do this as quick as I can. I don't know how good we're gonna do, but I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be. And so I'm just going to stick to the important stuff, and we'll let all that nonsense stuff for later. So there's protective film on everything. Now, because this is going to get hot, I suggest you remove all the protective film before you heat it up. And that's just I'm guessing heating this stuff up is probably not going to be, it'll probably make it much harder to get it off later. So I would absolutely suggest that you remove all the protective film on all the pieces before you try to print, so that you don't glue the stuff to the print, to the edges. So there's this whole side has a protective film on it, and I haven't seen anybody take this off. And some people think, oh, I'm gonna leave it on there to help protect it. Well, that's not a bad thought, really. Honestly, I don't say that that's a bad thought, but my problem is because this gets hot, and I think I don't want this to be permanently glued to it because it's been heated several times, and cooled, and then the next thing you know is this isn't going to come off, and I don't want that. So I'm not going to take the chance, even though it would help protect it. I'm not taking a chance that it becomes permanent. So I am going to take it off. I don't want to risk it. Now, of course, that's me. You can leave yours on if you want. That's up to you. I just personally, I think that it could be a bad idea. So I'm going to take mine off. Okay. So I'm sure you guys, if you've been doing this at all, you've been checking this stuff out at all, you saw the video where the guy with the K1 was trying to put the big rubber feet on the bottom, and the door flung open and fell off and broke. So yeah, this new hinge has it's definitely got a detent in it, so the glass doesn't flop. Wherever you put it is where it stays. So it's not going to fling open. So that's pretty good. And let me turn it around to the back and see if there's any plastic on the back. Nope, no plastic on the back. Well, I got it turned around. Let me put the cord in it. All right. Alright, so I've got that plugged in. And I've got a plug over here I can plug it into, so that'll work. Now, and same thing with this. This is all covered in protective plastic. If you run the risk of running the heat on this, chances are you're going to melt this to it, and then you'll never get it off. So again, I would absolutely recommend that you remove all your protective plastic. I would not leave it on the printer. Okay, all right. So let's see. Inside here we've got the build plate, and it's a magnetic build plate. That's nice. It's got a little warning label on it, and I know for a fact that there's screws I need to remove. I'm hoping this is going to tell me where those screws are. Please tear off the surface protector. Yeah, that's a good idea. Film before using. Before applying power, please check that 3 platform board. Please platform board fixed screws have been removed. Okay, so. All right. Well, this is apparently. screw in the back. Oh, is that what the... Ah, well, that's interesting. Okay, all right, I see the screws. All right, let me get... I'm going to use the supplied screwdriver to see if that'll work. I would assume it would, you know, but... Well, I think these might be Phillips screws, and that's not a Phillips screwdriver. So let me look. Yeah, that's a Phillips screwdriver, and this they give you a flat tip screwdriver. I wonder what. I wonder what they're using on here that needs a flat screwdriver. That's interesting. All right. Well, I know I have a Phillips head screwdriver here somewhere, but I might have to go get my toolbox because I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it quick enough to continue the video. So I might just have to go get my screwdriver out of my toolbox. Oh, wait a minute. I got a multi-tool here. Oh, no, that's all hex heads. There's no screwdriver in there. I think those are Phillips heads. Let me look. Maybe. Look at this. No, they're it's a, oh, the hex keys. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, well, I have a hex driver, so we're good. Yeah, the hex the Allen wrenches they give you are for removing the screws here. At least one of them. They give you 3, but they all look the same size. I'm not sure what that's about, but they all look like they're the same size. So that's kind of interesting. Interesting. Sorry guys, but I gotta take these screws out. There's one. This one doesn't. It's loose, but it won't come out. That's really weird. Alright, let me try this one. Okay, I got it. Boy, it took 2 hands to get that one. Boy, that is one long ass screw. Holy crap. And then there's one back here. Now, just for you guys to know, this is pretty idiot proof, okay? They've got yellow arrows taped in here pointing at the screws you need to remove. Okay? An arrow that looks like this. I don't know if you can see that. Alright? You see that? See that little yellow arrow? Here, let me try this. I'm going to put it on the... There, and I'll hold that up. Okay, there's that little yellow arrow. There's 3 of those in here pointing at the screws you have to take out. So, okay, I don't know. I don't think they can make it any easier than that. I mean, if you can't work with that, then I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, they point right at the screws you need to remove to free the bed. And that's pretty, that's about as good as you can get it. Okay, all right, so they're the 3 screws, and they're not, you know what? Maybe they are. I think I took the wrong screw out. Yeah, I did. I don't know how I did that. I accidentally took the wrong screw out. I'm going to put that one back in. Yeah, so I'm making jokes about how idiot-proof they make it with pointing at the screw you're supposed to take out. And then what do? I take the wrong screw out. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Okay. So I think, yeah, these screws are holding the bed down. Now remember, this isn't a bed slinger. So the bed doesn't go back and forth. It only goes up and down. And they've got it screwed to the bottom. That's what the 3 screws are doing. They're holding the bed to the bottom so that it can't fling around in transit. And there are 3 Z-axis screws that raise and lower the bed. One in the back, and then one in each corner in the front. The screws are magnetic, but they're just not wanting to come out of the hole. My tool's magnetic, but it's just not enough to get them out. They just don't want to just lift out. It's a little bit of a fight for some reason. Well, you bugger. There we go. All right. So we got these 3 long silver screws in the corner. You know, the 2 front corners and 1 in the back, holding the bed down. All right. So that's for shipping. You got to take those screws out for shipping, and now it's basically ready to print. Let me take this one out, this last arrow out. Okay, all right. So we got the 3 arrows out. We got the 3 screws out. We got the bed out. Okay. So we're going to take the protective cover off that. Now here's one of the complaints that guys had, which, you know, people complain about anything, I swear. It's just unbelievable. But they put a brush on the back of the plate right in the middle. Okay? And they're saying, well, you know, then it makes, you know, other plates, and no, it doesn't make other plates unusable. You just don't get a brush. Okay? You know, they never had a brush before. They're copying Bambu Labs on that. And listen, you know, copying is the greatest form of flattery, right? You know? So they're admitting that they like what Bambu Lab did, so they copied it. So there's a rubber brush back here for the nozzle to clean itself. So I don't have a problem with that. And if I want to put a different, you know, bed on it, I will. You know, it's not a big deal. And if it doesn't have a brush on it, I'll either put a brush on it or I'll just run it without the brush. It's not mandatory that it has the brush. Okay, all right, so we should be good to run it. Let me plug it in. Again, I'm not going to waste time, you know, in the video, screwing the door, the handle on the door, and putting that sticker on on the top and all that, because we don't need that to run it. So we're just going to load the card, and we're going to run the print. So let me turn it this way first. I'm going to leave the door open so that you can see it running the print. All right. So let me see what the directions say here, as far as thanks for choosing James number 3. Press. Please read the quick launch. Okay, is the quick launch in here, or is there a? Oh, yeah. Okay, this is the quick launch. Okay. Open the package and you can find the EST decimal. Thanks. And computer mark at the information of the USB disk baby. And that is recommended to use method 1 and 2 to obtain the latest information. Okay, so I didn't mention it because you've probably seen it in other videos, but I'll mention it now. So there are instructions the first thing that comes out the top of the printer is a cardboard cover, and then there are instructions on how to unpack it on that paper. And then there are also, and I don't know where that went. Where did I throw that? It's got to be in there somewhere. This is coming over here. Yeah, here it is. So unpacking. All right. So the first thing on the top of the box is this unpacking, and all the instructions are here how to unpack it. I already knew how to unpack it. But that's nice. Okay. And then on the first page here, they give you the instructions again how to unpack it. So very nice. Okay, so there's 3 ways to start this, and the third way we can just put I got to put the computer screen on. Forgot that. This doesn't require any tools. You just plug the cord in that's hanging out the front of the printer here, and then there's these hooks here that just hook into the front of the printer. So there's no screwing or anything. You just plug it in and hook it on. So let's do that. Oh, okay. It is upside down. Well, they could have given you a little more cord to work with here. This is a little tight. Yeah, probably doable, but it's going to take a minute. Alright, well, we'll try that. Boy, I have little hands, and this is a pain. I can't imagine someone with big hands trying to do this. Oh my god. That would be crazy. Wow. And there's a ribbon strap here you have to plug into the screen, and boy, this is a bugger. Holy moly. Okay. Alright, there we go. I got it. Wow. That was a bitch. Oh, what happened there? Okay, now we gotta snap this into here. Okay. Alright, we got the screen on. I'm going to remove the protective film off the screen. And there's still a protective film on it. It says here, before applying power, please check. Oh, the input voltage. I forgot. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. It's. I'm sure it came for pre set to 220, and we have to set it to 115 because we're not running 220 here. And I'll bet anything it's set to the wrong voltage. Okay, here's a screwdriver. Wait, let me look here. Flashlight. Wow. And they have that switch set way back in there. Maybe that's what this screwdriver's for. Just for switching the power from 220 to 115. Okay. All right. All right, we got that switched. And I think, yeah, there's a piece of protective film here. We'll take that off. All right. I believe we're ready. And the door will open past, yeah, right past that. And nice soft closed door. Very nice. Okay. All right. So what else does this say? This says, before applying power, please check to make sure that the 3 platform board fixed screws have been removed. Yep. To avoid damage to the machine. Yep. Already did that. And I switched it to 115. All right. Good. See how these little notes are very helpful. Make sure you read those. Because I knew I had to switch that, but I forgot. So I'm glad they did that to remind me, because I totally forgot. All right. So we've got our 3 screws out. They're laying right here. Got to switch to 115. We've got everything. We're ready. We're going to leave this off. We're going to just set this over here, because we're going to leave the door open to print it anyway. So let's flip it on and see what happens. All right, powered on. You got a little light. Nice. So there's a light inside here. Lights that all up. Creality. Okay. Well, are you going to stay there? Okay, that's fine. Running through a little self-diagnostic here, I guess, because it's not, it just says Creality and it's not doing anything. So, Let me get my bag of filament open. All right, here we go. So first thing it says is what language? English. Next. Okay, so now they're reminding you again to remove the 3 screws. We already did that. And I'm going to make sure that I got my other screw back in tight though. Okay, the one I accidentally took out because I'm an idiot. Okay, alright. I think this will just plug in the back. I don't think I have to build anything to mount this. Nope. So we got that on the back. Perfect. Alright. I got our filament right here. Alright, so a little tip, guys. I don't know if you've had any problem loading your filament, but don't cut it off square. Okay, you want to cut it diagonal, just like a syringe. You know, a needle they stick in your arm is cut at a diagonal like this, so it has a very sharp point. And that makes it much easier to load it into the Bowden tube if you've got it, you know, tapered to a point by cutting it at a diagonal. I don't know if you knew that, but I'm just going to... Nobody else has ever mentioned that. It says it somewhere in one of my things, but I already knew to do that, but it said it somewhere. And I don't think anybody... I've never heard anybody mention that. They always complain they can't get the filament to load. That's why. If you cut it at an angle, it loads much easier. Okay, welcome to Creality 3D Printing. Please keep the blue cube so they're talking about the build area. Keep that area clear. That's what they're saying. Okay, well, that goes without saying. But okay. All right. Privacy policy. Yeah, I've read it. You have to agree or you can't go any farther, so just click it and move on. So please set up your network. Skip. I don't want to set up a network right now. Time zone. So that's interesting. I'm going to go with that one, I think. Please scan the code to bind the device to the Creality cloud area. Is there a skip here? Self-check. Welcome to self. Please place the printing platform the self-check process is expected to take around 11 minutes. Okay. Do not touch the printing during the self-check. Okay, I have 11 minutes. Now I can screw the handle on. We're going to let this thing do its self-check. Nozzle heat check. Hot bed check. It's heating the bed right now. Check it. So in the meantime, I can put this on. Oh, you have two little rubber gaskets. I don't know if they want them going in outside or outside in. Let's see what they show. Oh, I had a piece of foam in there I didn't see. It just booted that out. Okay. All right. Checking the fans. This gives you a list here, what it's doing, what it's checking, at what stage we're at. Where the first thing it checked was the heating the nozzle, then it heated the bed, then it heated the brake fan, the main board fan. That checked off. It's doing that. Input shaping. I don't know what that means. Oh, it's doing that vibration test. Okay. So it's gonna find its happy vibration. All right. Go through there. There's no up or down on the handle, so we'll screw that in. I saw somebody screwing a handle on one of their printers. I forget which one it was. And the guy stripped the hole in the putting the handle on. So he had to go get a filament gun. I didn't know they had that. They have a filament glue gun. And he squirted a little bit of filament in the stripped hole and then put the screw back in. I don't know if you saw that, but I thought that was funny. Yeah. Okay. All right, so my handle's on. There we go. Okay, still testing the input shaping. And then it's going to do the auto leveling. And then we'll load the filament. I already cut the filament and everything. I just got to find the end here. So that just went in smooth as could be. I mean, if I had one little, like a bump, and then I just pulled back and pushed again, and it went right past that, and I felt another little bump and pulled back and pushed right through it, and went right through there too. So putting that point on it just made it go right through. Piece of cake. Okay, so the filament's loaded. Let's put the card in. So we can find something to print. Auto leveling. So now it's doing the auto level. That's what's going to take the longest. I don't know how many times it's going to touch the bed, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Clean the brush, clean the nozzle. It's just run itself over the brush a million times. I think you got the brush clean. Run the fan. Alright, so we gotta move. I'm gonna move this over here. So I'm gonna put everything that's here over here. Uh-oh. This little corner piece came off the door. Still says it's doing the auto leveling, but it ain't moving. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, here we go. Couple touches there. Every location it's testing, it does it 3 times. Wow. That was 5 times. I don't know why it's doing all that. Not exactly sure what that's all about. That's an awful lot of testing when it doesn't even move to auto level the bed. But whatever. All right. Okay, that's everything. Now we're gonna, when this is done with this, I'm gonna turn it around to face you guys. I'm gonna leave the door open so we can watch it print. So now it's going back over the whole thing, about 4 passes each. Yeah, they're checking, and it touches 2 times, 4 times across the bed. Right at the beginning, and then it went back about 2 inches. It's doing it again, so it's going to do it again probably 2 or 3 more times. So that's it's like 16 or 20 test points to record the bed level. 16 to 20. Wow. That's crazy. So this is the back corner over here. On this side is where that piece of tape goes inside so it won't scratch the top cover. Really needs to be taller. They just should have made this box bigger. It's too small. Might have to 3D print something to fix that. Okay, I think we're just about done. Self-check complete. Okay. Wow. Really? Okay, so we got the 600 speed test. We got a benchy, a 16-minute benchy, or I can print the logo filament barrel, or there's two different types of holders for the side mount. Oh, I didn't know that. That's weird. Okay, so we're going to do the speed test. So let me, I'm going to pull this over here. And then I'm going to turn it this way. Like this. Am I running out of cord? I guess I kind of am. Alright. So we'll just turn it like this. Alright. Okay. Then we're going to open the door. So we can watch what's going on. Alright. Now, again, guys, I am not going to adjust the video here. What you see is what it's doing. I am not going to mess with editing this video to make it look like it's going faster. It's really going this fast. So here we go. Oh, I have to lock the extruder. Okay, I think that's the lock position. Yeah. Okay. All right, we should be good to go. I think it's heating the nozzle and heating the bed. I didn't apply any glue stick. I don't think I need to, but we'll see. Let me come around here and take a quick look. Print. The screen went dark. That's weird. I wonder why it did that. Here we go. So if you haven't seen this, you're going to be very impressed. You've never seen anything move this fast. It is insane. So I guess it's doing the level again. You know, it does a recheck of the leveling. Well, cleaning the nozzle again. I don't think it ever extruded anything yet. It's parked right on the brush at the moment. And then we're cleaning the brush again. The screen's still dark. There's nothing on the screen. I wonder why it does that. That's kind of weird. I'd kind of like to see what, you know, what it says on the screen, what it's doing at the moment. It's doing another self-bed leveling. I guess it's going to do that before every print. Wow. This is pretty intense here. I mean, wow. Wow. I don't know exactly what they're, you know. I mean, I don't know how level you got to make that bed. I mean, I do know. I take that back. I do know how level you got to make it. This thing's being thorough. If you guys are new to 3D printing, the bed leveling is the most critical piece of the whole thing. If you don't have the bed level, not just level, but actually the right distance from the plate, you know, there's a, you know, there's like a 1/10 of a millimeter plus or minus, and if you're off either way, you're going to have failures. So it's super critical that the bed be level and the right distance from the head. And that's why you definitely want a printer that has self-leveling. Trust me, you do not want to have to manually do it. It takes forever to get it right. So you definitely want a self-leveling bed if you're buying a printer. And that's one of the main reasons you don't want an Ender 3. Now, I know they make a version of the Ender 3 that does have self-leveling, but yeah, there's just better printers. Alright, now it should do a test strip right there, I guess. If it's like my other one, it's going to run a test run down there. It's, you know, see the screen's not on, so I don't know what temperature the bed's at. I don't know what temperature. I don't know if I touch the screen, will it come on? There it is. Okay, it came on. So it looks like they have $242 and the bed's at 60. It looks like. Okay, so it's not running. So we got to stop this. I don't have the filament in right. Oh, all right, it is working. Okay, so that was, it's laying down the first layer. It's printing. So it's going to get the first couple layers laid down, and then it's going to go fast. I mean, it's going to go rocket fast. There it goes. Okay, I didn't speed that up, guys. That's how fast it's running. I swear to God, I didn't. That's why I'm here. Look at this is my hand, and that's how fast this thing's running. 600 millimeters a second. So this is insane. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take to print this, but I'm going to let it do a full print. Because what it prints is really cool, and I want that. So I'm going to let it print it. One guy on his show stopped it, and because he didn't want to waste the filament. I'm not worried about the filament. I want this print. But look at how fast that's going. So like I said, this one's at 600 millimeters a second, and the Bambu's only 500 millimeters. Only, yeah. So, but like I said, and everybody agrees that it's not a usable speed. It would take you forever to actually fine-tune your printer to print whatever you're printing this fast, okay, and get it accurate. I don't know how long Creality spent with this little test print they're running to get it to run this fast, but I guarantee you they had to play with it a while to make this happen. So what it's doing is it's a straight line across the front, and then it's doing a 4 loops that go back against itself, around again, and back itself. It does that 4 times on the back, and then straight down the front. And that's what it's doing. It's doing that circle around 4 times. There's 4 separate loops that it has to make a turn in, go out a little bit, around, back in, and then over to the next one. And it does that 4 times. And it makes 3 of almost the exact same loop opposite between the 4. So there's a space between the 4, and on that space between is basically the same loop upside down. It's a little bigger. They're not exactly the same size. But that's what it's doing. from what I can see, sitting here, standing here, there are no layer lines. None. There are absolutely no layer lines. It looks like it's a piece of solid, a solid wall of this PLA is just appearing out of nowhere. I don't see a layer line anywhere. It's absolutely perfect. That's what I'm looking at. I think we're halfway done. I think it goes about another, it's going to make that the wall height of that about double what it is right now, I think. So, yeah, we're at least probably halfway done. Now that's a smooth bed, and that I didn't put any glue stick on it. It's stuck to that perfect. So the filament roll back here is rolling continuously. On my prints on the other machine, you know, it moves and then it sits there for 15, 20 seconds and then it moves again. And this is just rolling. Very slowly, but it's a continuous roll. It doesn't stop. It's making the cabinet shake a lot. I mean a lot. I'm really kind of surprised. You know, I thought they had the head dampening down to a science where the cabinet wasn't going to shake at all, but that's not the case. It's shaking pretty violently. You know, as fast as that head's moving. But yeah, it's just doing its thing. That is so precise. I mean, that is just magic. It is so precise, so smooth. Wow, that's just incredible. Wow, that is just crazy. Again, I didn't speed this up. You know, that's why I'm standing here talking to you. You know, I want to make sure you guys understand that there's no trickery going on here. That's how fast this thing is moving. There it is. Done. Unbelievable. Okay, so I'm not going to rip it out of there because it's still hot. I'm going to let the bed cool down, and then I'm going to pull it out. I'm learning a lot about these print beds and cleaning them, and you don't want to clean them hot. I already screwed one of my brand new bed plates up by putting alcohol on it while it was, hot, and that somehow degraded the coating that was on it, and now it's not sticking as well. So you want to make sure you clean it cold, not hot. So the same thing with pulling this stuff off. Wait till it's cold to pull it off. Don't pull it off hot. It's all right, I'm going to turn it back around so I can get it from this side. Let me move this stuff over here. I think it shook half the stuff I had over here onto the floor. Well, actually, no, it didn't, but things definitely moved around a little bit. All right, so let me gently turn this back this way. So it takes 9 minutes, is all that was. 9 minutes to print that speed test, which is insane. And now it parked the bed height right in line with the cooling fan that's blowing into the cabinet. So the air is blowing right off over the part, cooling it. From here, I cannot see a line in the filament. It's perfect. It's perfectly smooth. There are no lines in it that I can see. Now, once I get it off the bed, we'll find out. But from what I can see here, there are no lines in it. Now the nozzle's cooling off pretty fast. But the bed's taking its merry time. I'd take the bed out with the part on it, but like I said, that fan's right in line with it. It's blowing right on it. So I'm assuming that's going to do a better job of cooling it than me bringing it out of the printer. So I'm going to leave it in there. All right, I'm gonna stop the recorder for a minute. Okay, I'm back. So let me get this out and show what it did. This is amazing. So first of all, it printed this, which is like a raft, but not really. It kind of just circled it, and you probably really can't see it. Well, here, maybe. Can you see it if I do that? You really can't see it. Yeah. Anyway, it's the same thing as the print. So let me show you the print. So this is what it printed. I'll put this over here so you can get a look at this. So it's the waves and then a straight line. And I'm assuming that this is 600 millimeters, the straight side. And it gets from there to there in 1 second. So that's how it does 600 millimeters a second. I'm sure that's exactly what they were demonstrating here, is that it got from here to here. I didn't measure that, but I'm just using common sense that that must be 600 millimeters. And it takes 1 second for it to go from that one to the other. And then this is exactly, this here, well, you can see it on the table pretty good, actually. This fits right over that, just like that. And it printed that first. It circled around this. I got it upside down. Like that. Okay? So that sat in there like that. It did that first. It made a path, like, just drew a path on the build plate, and then it printed that. After it made a couple passes to outline it, then it went real fast and did the. So that's what we're looking at. This is the print, guys. This is absolutely smooth. There are no. I wish I could get this close to show you to the camera, but the camera's way over there. There are no print lines here at all. This looks like it was casted, I guess, or however you would make that. It does not look 3D printed. You can't see any layer lines here at all. And the really funny thing is, if you run your nail over the outside, you can't feel the lines, but you can feel them on the inside. But you really can't feel them on the outside. It's kind of weird. I don't know how they made it do that. But anyway, yeah, this is just crazy that this thing went that fast. And this is what it printed. And this is PLA, just the PLA sample that they gave me. And it's super flexible, not breaking, not cracking, and it's perfection. It's just amazing. I can't believe how cool this is. Okay, so while we were away, I was waiting for the bed to cool down. Of course, I was away longer than that. So I got a little crazy. So I've been printing like a madman, all right? So because this thing is so fast. So since I printed that, the next thing I printed was a filament holder to mount the spool on the side of the printer. Actually, I must have printed that first because I think in my old video it was already on the side of the printer. Yeah, so I must have printed that first. I didn't remember that. I thought I printed it after I did that, but I guess not. So yeah, so I printed the spool holder first. Okay, and that came out perfect. Then I printed for you guys to watch the speed test, and then I printed a bunch of other stuff. So on Thingiverse, I printed. This is a articulating dragon. All right, now, guys, I know you can't tell, but this is so beautiful. It looks like jewelry. It really does. I mean, you could wear this. It is so reflective, so beautiful, so perfect. I mean, this is an absolute perfect articulating dragon. And even the legs articulate. Okay? So there's 12 joints just in the leg. Okay, forget how many. I haven't counted it yet. Let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, including the tail. 36 articulating vertebrae, I'm going to call them, and then 12 joints, articulating joints on the legs. So the legs are posable in any position. Let me move this back here. Yeah, so you can pose the leg in any position, and it folds down, folds up, all the legs. He's holding a ball in this foot. Okay, I don't know how big a ball it is because I don't know relative to him, but I would guess it's a baseball, maybe a softball. So he's got a ball in this claw, his right claw, front claw, and then the rest of them are normal. The detail is so great, guys. You can see the leatherness of the skin on his fingers, and then you can see where the claw is. You can see exactly where the claw comes out of the skin. It's amazing. The detail on this. He's got a little fang on the side of his mouth here, and teeth in his grin. There's detail on the top of his head and on the top of every vertebrae, and it's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, now this one, okay, is the same length as this one. Okay, now this is the one I printed on my Ender 3 that was a fail, and it's got all kinds of issues, but good enough to enjoy, but not sellable. I wouldn't sell it. They're the same length. This one's got mittens. There's no detail in his fingers. They're not articulating his legs, and there's no detail. I mean, it looks like he's wearing a mitten. Okay, so there's no detail there. The detail on the vertebrae are not near as tight or as detailed. There's no noticeable scales on this. This is all scales. I mean, it's got intricate little scale marks on it that are perfect. There's no print lines. It's perfect. Okay, so here's the real kicker. So I printed this on an Ender 3. It took 3 days. 3 days. And it was 88 hours total to print this one. Okay? 88 hours. That's 3 days and change. Okay? This one printed in 4 hours and 21 minutes. Okay? 4 hours and 21 minutes it printed that one. It took 3 days to print that one. So, I mean, the speed difference is uncanny. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that printed so well, I printed another one. So it's repeatable. Now, this one is identical in every way. There's not a thing different. I've looked them over and over and over, and there is absolutely no difference between the two of these. They printed exactly the same, the exact same quality. There's not a hint difference in either one of these. It's absolutely repeatable. It just boggles my mind. After all the trouble I had with an Ender 3 for 7 years, and now I can do this. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So then I printed a Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Now I think this took 7 hours. Now, the quality of this is not very good, but it's not the printer's fault. This is a bad file. Okay, the guy that created this just didn't bother to do any cleanup. So there's a lot of machine lines. Not from the lines are going this way. I printed this on its tail like this, so the print lines are going this way. But all the machine lines that are in this from the whatever CAD program he used to create this, okay? So, and then I had trouble, and the reason I printed it on here is because it's a 220 bed by 220, but it's 250 high. So printing in this position, I got it bigger. I was able to expand it even bigger. So I made it a little bit bigger. Well, and I printed it without the wheels. You can print it with the wheels or without the wheels. I printed it without the wheels so I could do something different with the wheels. So I didn't know how to scale the wheels, so the first ones were this big. And that it's way too big. I mean, it's not even, close. So, and dummy me, I printed 4 of them. Okay, and I also printed them with support. So that's what the end of the wheel looks like. There's all the the fingers of the the spokes of the wheel are all covered up, and it took hours to get it to look like this. Okay, and it's still horrible, But now you can see the rotor in there, and there's a caliper in there. So you could paint the caliper red, and you could paint the rotor, and it's a drilled and slotted rotor. So it's got all that details in there. So once you spend 2 or 3 hours, and I'm not exaggerating, to dig all of the filament, the support out of there, it's a pretty interesting looking. But the spokes themselves are not that good. They're not in very good shape. I don't know why it had so much trouble printing the spokes, but it did. So that's a fail. So now I tried it again. I made it smaller, and I did it without support. So and I got a wheel this size, and I decided I would rather waste the gold because if I print them, I don't have that much white left. So I wanted to make sure I had enough white to do them if I decide to do them. I'm not sold on it because honestly the quality of this is just not that good. The print's great. The print lines are beautiful. It's just the CAD program has all of these tooling marks in it from he didn't smooth nothing out. He just kind of printed it real quick, and and on camera it probably looks pretty good, but the grill is terrible. He didn't spend any time making the grill correct, so the grill's terrible, and the back end is almost as bad. But the details on the back end, but there's all these tooling marks in it. I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe if I put it back here in the light. So yeah, it's just terrible. So it's got the mirrors on it though. The mirrors are there. The door handles, the gas door is there. It's got a sunroof. The scoops are there on the hood. The details there, but it's just not good quality. So I don't know if I'm going to bother. So I print one more wheel, the right size now. So now I've got the correct size wheel, and it's got a post on the back that you can plug into the hole that's printed in here. And so now the wheel goes right on, and it's the right size wheel, but I don't like, I mean, I know a Hellcat, they have the wheels pushed all the way out to the fenders, but I don't care for that look. But I have room. If you look there, there's space, so I can shorten this pin and then push it in farther, or I can drill the hole. But if I drill the hole, then the wheel will go in and out. It won't stay where you set it. So I think I'm just going to shorten the pin until I get to the offset I want. If I do bother to go any further, I don't know if I'm going to bother. It's such poor quality. I'm not really crazy about it. So I did a test print on it first. So here's the tail of the Challenger, but it was putting all this fill in it, and that's a waste of time, waste of filament. So I stopped this print, made it hollow, so there's nothing inside now. It's hollow. And I changed the supports. And it carved more than an hour off the print just by doing that. So, but this is just as bad. The detail on this is really just goofy. So, not real crazy about that. So I wasn't happy about that. And then a friend stopped by and they wanted to see the speed test. So I ran another speed test in the gold this time. So there's our speed test again. And that piece that came off on the other one, I didn't take off of this one yet, so I'll take it off now. It was just a brim that they put on it. But when I took the other one off the plate, it separated immediately. This one's stuck with it. So I'll pull it off now. It's a little tight right there. Wow, that's really stuck on there. There it goes. So let me get this brim off of here, because the brim's glued together, or stuck together as it printed, so you can't. It's not flexible. You can't. You can't do this with it. How you can just bend this out, and the brim's holding it together. So let me get the brim off so we can play with it. But same thing. There's no machine lines in this. No print lines. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's as smooth as a baby's ass. I mean, it's just absolutely perfect. And at 600 millimeters a second, and it's absolutely perfect. It's amazing. Yeah, this brim's really stuck. It ain't coming off with a crack. So it's amazing how the other one came right off. This one, not so much. That could be the filament. It's not the same filament. That was Creality filament, the white, and this is something I bought off of Amazon. So I bought this filament off Amazon. It's beautiful filament. I love it, but it obviously has a little more hold characteristics than the white, because this brim is really stuck on here. Almost got it. Getting close. There's a couple of the, it's starting to pull the last layer off. So I'm just going to cut it so we don't destroy this thing. Okay, so I don't know what happened. The camera stopped for some reason. I don't know why, but in the meantime, I started another print. So anyway. So I got the brim off this, and guys, it's unbelievable how beautiful this is. I wish you could see this. This is, I mean, it is so smooth. There are no print lines. Layer lines. It's totally flexible. You know what this looks like? It looks like ribbon that they make bows out of for Christmas decoration, for bows. It looks exactly like a bow. That's how smooth and perfect this is. But it's hard plastic. I mean, it just looks just like ribbon. And it's so reflective. This gold is just amazingly reflective. Yeah, just amazing, guys. It's just gorgeous. So, all right. So we're going to end it here. Thanks for watching. I know it's a long video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. I hope you come back next week. We really are going to dive into this pretty deep. If you want to get into this, I'm going to cover it. I'm going to tell you what's available, some prices, and what to expect. And then I hope you can make a better informed decision with the information I'm going to give you. So stay tuned for that. Keep watching. Like, subscribe, comments at the bottom, and we'll see you on the next review. So talk to you later. Bye-bye.